You know, I sit here watching mainstream media, and all I'm hearing about is how Joe Biden's old, he's slow, the debate, and how he needs to step aside. I mean, that's everywhere, all day, every day. That's all they talk about on mainstream media, left side, right side, center. Doesn't matter, that's all they're talking about. And it struck me strange because there are a few other stories that seem important, pertinent to the upcoming election. And these mainstream media outlets seem to either be unable or incapable of telling these stories. So I'm a good guy. I like to help out when I can. So if they won't tell you these stories, well, I'm going to tell you these stories. We know that Donald Trump has tried to distance himself from Project 2025. He said, I don't know anything about them. I don't know who's behind it. I don't know what they're doing. And it's ironic because Project 2025's 900-page manifesto is out and people have started reading it. And you know what's ironic is in that manifesto, the people and the document that Donald Trump doesn't know about, well, Donald Trump's name shows up over 300 times. Wow, that's weird. Here's a guy that says he knows nothing about it, but he shows up in the book 300 times. The story with Donald Trump, he was all behind Project 2025 when he thought it benefited him, but when the blowback started and knew it was going to hurt him, oh, I don't know anything about that shit. But the fact of the matter is he's all about that shit. He supports that shit. And if he tells you now he doesn't support it, he's also a pathological liar. So he'll tell you what you want to hear now, and then when he gets elected, he will be behind it again. That's how Donald Trump does business. Here's an interesting point about that Project 2025 manifesto. After people have been reading it, they're pulling out these little gems, and there was one gem that I found particularly interesting. It turns out the Heritage Foundation, who put together Project 2025, is doing some lobbying for China. China! Now, I wouldn't even mention it normally, but the Republicans continue to tell the public that the Democrats are in league with China. But there are no documents that suggest that for the Democrats, but here we are, a document showing that they are lobbying for China. Oh, and Donald Trump's name's in it over 300 motherfucking times. Now, that's not the only story that I find intriguing and pertinent for the upcoming election. There is another set of documents that came out of Florida. It was from a grand jury 16 years ago regarding Jeffrey Epstein and his vile criminal behavior. Now, Donald Trump has also said, I don't know Jeffrey Epstein. I met him a couple times. But the funny thing is, in these documents, Donald Trump's name comes up once again 69, 70 times. And in those documents, there are call logs where Donald Trump has called Jeffrey Epstein and said, hey, verifying my appointment for my massage. Now, didn't Donald Trump tell us that Jeffrey Epstein likes his women very young? So Donnie knows what's up with Jeffrey Epstein and his place, his home, wherever he is. He knows what's going on there. And Donald Trump is calling up at 3 a.m. and say, hey, I'll be right over. Get them ready. That's troubling. Now, people will say, well, he didn't do anything there. But when it comes to evidence, it's nice to have some corroborating evidence. And it just so happens I have that. Remember back in 2015, 2016, when Donald Trump confessed to sexually assaulting women. You remember the Access Hollywood tape, grabbing women's genitals. There was also a book at one point written by his ex-wife where she stated that Donald Trump violently raped her. There was also the lawsuit from E. Jean Carroll where Donald Trump was found liable for sexual assault against E. Jean Carroll. There is also 26 women that have accused Donald Trump of sexual assault. There's also that lawsuit that came out and disappeared just before the election, where Donald Trump was a co-defendant with Jeffrey Epstein regarding the assault on a 13-year-old girl. All this shit happened. That sounds like corroborating evidence. And while the mainstream media doesn't want to talk about it, I'm going to be talking about it all day, every motherfucking day.